every single time we go to use it. It says we're live. So, welcome back to Powcast. We got to have a little holiday time just after Christmas. I went and picked myself up a box set of the Rob Zombie trilogy, House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, and Three from Hell. So last night we watched House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects. And before we have too much to unpack, before we go and watch Three from Hell in a minute, because I haven't seen that one yet, I wanted to get Griffin's view on this classic by Rob Zombie.
The first one, you really get a sense of demonic, kind of
Almost supernatural,
uh
because they do that whole
ritual.
sacrifice ritual thing.
And there's a lot of lore that goes into it with the Fishman, and then a whole talking about Dr. Satan.
Dr. Satan.
And when it comes to the characters, you really do feel bad for the victims. But you also get to see how the Twisted family seems to be kind of like they have some kind of super strength or something.
And you notice right off the bat that it was heavily inspired by Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Mm-hmm.
So that stood out a lot.
Because they wear a lot of skin. It's pretty weird. You get a good basis, not a good basis. You get a little bit of a basis of what they're like, with them being insane and somewhat unpredictable. This is all just talking about the first one. The second one is just them going on a killing spree and following one.
They become kind of different characters too.
They do.
And in the first one, we meet Otis Driftwood, the guy that you hated.
Mm-hmm.
Now he was originally in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. He was in that, so that's one of the reasons Rob pulled him into this, was to have that vibe. And I won't say he gets less crazy. In the second movie, in Devil's Rejects, he's not so much talking out of his head, but he's more mean-spirited.
He's like sorry for my wording. This is gonna sound a little bit vulgar, but jackassy.
I found him more jackassy in the first one, just blabbering about autistic, man. You don't get the things that's going on in my head.
I say he's jackassy in the second one because he's molesting dudes' wives in front of them.
Well,
and
the theory is that they'd always done stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that this was just seeing what they had been doing in House of a Thousand Corpses up to that point. But he's not talking about how he has these prophecies and he sees things differently. He's just being mean and angry over the situation that, oh, surprise, you kind of got caught. Now you got to find a way to hide out.
They're very hypocritical, because in the first one, the mother, she's all like, yeah, you got to kill somebody that needs to be killed. And then they get caught and she's all like she's just hypocritical.
Killing is fine as long as you're not killing somebody I like.
Yeah. You're killing is fine as long as like it's somebody that looked at you funny.
It's all over the place, but it's about crazy people, and those are crazy thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
But I really didn't gel with. Plus, it's like the next day, and of course, famously people laugh about how Otis woke up with a
beard,
a full year's beard.
Not only that, did you notice in the first part of the movie when you first see Otis, he's got like bald in the front, and he looks like a little bit older than a middle-aged man, and he just seems like he's getting younger and younger as it goes on.
He was reminiscent of his character Chop Top from Texas Chainsaw Massacre too. And so we kind of move away from that toward him looking like Rob Zombie, like he's the surrogate for Rob Zombie. If Rob Zombie were to do a part in a movie, which I'm surprised he hasn't done.
He puts his wife and everything from what you say, but
Yeah, we'll look into that. We'll look into some Rob Zombie videos, and you'll even see her like in the very background in the distance, like doing a little go-go dancer. Okay, we complained about some stuff. Didn't you find some stuff really cool, especially about like meeting Captain Spaulding? That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, when you first see him in the beginning, which is like in the first movie, in the first movie, you see him all of 3 times in 3 scenes. You see him as the tourists come in, he throws the tourists in one spot, and you follow the tourists until the sheriff comes in, and he throws the sheriff into where the tourist went, and you see him again. What was he doing in that last part? It was only two times you actually get to see him.
He comes back in the end, and it's another throwback to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where the girl has escaped.
Oh yes.
We don't want to have too many. I mean,
it's so old.
Spoilers. You should go out and see it. House of Thousand Corpses. Definitely a recommend. Devil's Rejects. I don't know. It's got an awesome soundtrack. He definitely, Rob Zombie knows how to put a soundtrack together and have a vibe and create a really cool aesthetic. And these movies, they look like music videos. Like if you were to take out all the sound and just play Rob Zombie songs over everything, it would look right.
Mm-hmm. I also have to say, it made me realize that Scooby-Doo, with the song at the very end,
The Brick House.
Is that the one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's even like the Muppets use that song.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's all over the place.
Oh God! But like the beginning of it is like very
bum, 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 bum.
Oh my! There's like.
Well, I think there were some sound effects that were not from the actual sound. That was just like, again, Sherry Moon Zombie moaning. You'll hear that in the background and stuff, especially in all of Rob Zombie's songs. Not all of them, but a lot of Rob Zombie songs is just her in the background moaning and doing weird stuff.
What if it's his wife that pushed him into being making music videos and stuff like that, and like she saw his talent?
I don't know. So I always feel like, and once we go through the catalog of his stuff, I felt when I walked away, I felt like she was like, "You're going on tour. I want to go too. What about me, Rob? Don't you care about me? If you love me, you'd let me be in the video."
That's funny.
I can say things. Let me be in the movie.
Like when you first see her, she just she gives off this 16-year-old
as baby. Yeah, she's
I guess the
mentally
name
stunted.
Yeah.
I thought she was really cute the first time I saw her, and when I was in my 20s. And now I'm just like, ooh, that girl ain't got no butt on her. Mm-mm.
I mean, like when you first see her and she's like in the rain, she's cute. But then you really start to see her and it's like, oh no, never mind.
And it's weird to finally make that connection between her and Spaulding when she's like, "Daddy." What? That's her dad? I mean, I told you, but when I first watched, I was, that's her dad? And now that I'm a dad and I've got a daughter who's completely insane, I can really relate to Captain Spaulding. No matter how many people she kills and buries in the backyard, you still love them.
I mean, through the entire series, there's only a certain, obviously you feel empathetic to the people that the
victims.
The victims, like the victims of all of them, you feel bad for them.
All the cheerleaders in the crawl space,
and the the music group.
Yeah.
Feel bad for the women especially because they kind of just got like
That was It was hard to like sit next to you while they were showing that sequence.
I really just like wanted
Uncomfortable.
I really wish I could have just shot the dude.
Yeah, you really hate Otis.
But whenever they're getting tortured and you see Captain Spaulding in pain, you feel bad for him, but not as children, just bad for him.
Yep. Okay, so that's our thoughts. Any closing thoughts on? Would you recommend either one of the movies?
I'd recommend the first one, not the second one. You can watch the second one if
you're gonna end up watching the second one just because you're like, oh, I want some more Captain Spaulding, and you're gonna end up wanting to eat Tutti Frutti ice cream by the end of the second movie.
No, I just wanted ice cream. I didn't care about
Tutti Frutti.
I wanted ice cream.
Tutti Frutti.
No, just ice cream.
Tutti Frutti.
No, just ice cream.
All right, guys, we're gonna go watch 3 from Hell and maybe some White Zombie videos, Rob Zombie videos, so he can really get an idea for like how saturated Rob Zombie's work is with his wife Sherry Moon Zombie,
and maybe get some Tutti Frutti ice cream.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time on Powcast.